Well, welcome to the podcast with Nuffic Neso South Africa. My name is Tigo Kort. I work at Nuffic Neso South Africa with my colleague here, Catherine Ramaoka, and Miss Mavuso, also from South Africa, having studied in the Netherlands. Well, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Uh, um, uh, so my name is Sibusisiwe Mavuso. From South Africa, a very small town in northern KZN called Port Petersburg, which is like a mixture of Africans and Dutch and German heritage people, a farming background. And I had a chance to study in the Netherlands for my master's in 2011 and 2012. And I did international development studies in Radboud University, Nijmegen. So yes, and then I came back to South Africa, and I've been working as a researcher. So currently I'm based in Johannesburg, also doing my DPhil in education policy.
Oh, okay. And how did you like your city in the Netherlands, Nijmegen?
Nijmegen is very small, so it was pretty cool because it was a couple of us people who looked different from the rest of the population in that area. So it was nice because I had like Dutch friends and who were very instrumental in introducing me to the Dutch culture, whom were also my classmates. So they were kind of like a bridge between me in being integrated to the Dutch culture and just Dutch way of doing things. And because sometimes language could be a barrier between people. So I think I was pretty lucky enough that I had friends, and also my program was in English. And I had other two international students from Germany, and the other one was from Norway. So we got along very well. That we're still friends to this day. And one of my friends, two of my Dutch friends, and also the German friends came to visit. So they were here for Christmas. They only left this January before this whole public crisis escalated to what it is at the moment. So yeah,
So
my
you're
experience was
right
very
now.
good.
You're in Johannesburg. I
Yeah,
understand.
now I live in Johannesburg now. Yes.
Okay, doing your research.
Yeah, I'm doing my research. Yes.
Okay. So and how would you describe the how would you describe that the media is currently handling the situation where you are?
The media.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like I would say I've just started from the like on the general aspect of things on how the government, which is also with the help of media and news outlets, how they've been actually keeping us updated with what is going on, and government intervention in different and programs that have been rolled out since the whole public crisis started. So I feel for now, I think I feel pretty much aware what is going on, and I think in my community, for instance, ever since the lockdown regulations were introduced in on the 26th of March, everybody has been like very respectful and observing the regulations, that even like in my complex where I live, like we receive like letters to say no children are allowed to play in the playground, which is
Okay.
outside the building, so they should be kept indoors. And everybody seems to be respecting that rule, which is like a general house rule. And also, if you go to the supermarket, like you will hardly meet anyone on the road. I think on it's only on the first day that I saw police, not yeah, law enforcement agencies that were patrolling around the area. But ever since then, I think they've seen that it's very quiet. Everybody's staying indoors, and hopefully they're washing their hands. And so that pretty much has been
So you
really
would
interesting
say
to observe that people actually have taken this seriously, and they understand the implications that if we say we are on lockdown is for government to curb the spread of the virus. So I would say also I'm very happy with the WhatsApp group that the government have set out. So to get like updated information on the number of deaths, on the number of people who are infected and the distribution of them in which province they are based, which is been very helpful. And also been very happy with how the social programs, like the ones that are meant to help people who don't have much, who are less privileged than we are, in terms of access, having like access to quality food. I mean, food security is a huge issue in this country if you think about it. And then what the government actually rolled out a couple of days ago gives me hope in different ways on how we are able to handle issues of national disaster.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you have a positive feeling about the way the government is dealing with it
Yeah.
all.
Also, the media itself, like the way they've been, just
Okay.
the collective efficiency that has come out. I mean, if you think about South Africans, if you're active on Twitter, I'm not quite sure if you guys are active on Twitter, and you see a lot of South Africans just put out a message to say, can anybody help me? I don't have electricity. Someone
Okay.
will say, give me your meter number, and then they will buy you the electricity, which is something. I mean, I think the spirit of Ubuntu has really transpired through all this. That we together
Solidarity.
yeah, together we're very
Okay.
strong, and we can beat this. I think as South Africans, as a united nation at this moment, we definitely reaching out to each other.
So you have enough food at home?
It hasn't been an issue for me, but I wish I could just. No, I'm teasing. I wish I could apply for food. No, I'm teasing. I never do that. But
Okay.
for now, I'm fine.
Okay.
Food hasn't been an issue for me or any other essential
And
services that I need.
how would you say the economy is dealing with the situation in South Africa right now?
As you might recall that before we even went to lockdown or the virus hit the South African borders. Remember, we had the issue with our economy. It wasn't growing enough to absorb enough people, so that a lot of people can actually generate income to make a living. And we're in recession. So this pandemic came and we have to go on lockdown, right?
Yeah.
And then if we've been on lockdown for a couple of weeks now. And when we were graded to a junk status, which was like a second one in a couple of months. And then I think all of that kind of like hit very hard because already we have a population of almost 30% of people that are unemployed. And those people are actively looking for jobs. And those are young people. They're not like older people that will say maybe they will fall off to old age grant. These are young people. Not all of them have skills, of course.
Yeah.
So our economy, I think, is at a level where I feel like this virus will act as a catalyst to revise our economy, if that makes sense.
And how is it for you personally, for work and study?
For me, it's I'll tell you this because I had a lot of opportunities to because sometimes I'm like a private consultant, so I do a lot of projects, a lot of research assignments for private organizations or even public organizations. But it's been very quiet for the last 3 months, I'll say. Ever since we started the year, I haven't received any project, even though I put up some proposal to say I could do this project for you and this and that. So in that aspect, it's affected me personally because I haven't had like a stable income.
So you would say it's difficult to do the work and the educational purposes that you had before.
Yeah, that I had because I mean, if everything was open, then I could just go to
Okay.
people's offices and say, "Hey, listen, this is what I have. This is what I can do. Do you think you could give me a project that I could work on, and then you can
And
pay me?"
how would you say that your province is dealing with it compared to the others overall?
I wouldn't say like Gauteng because I mean it's the biggest province in the country in the sense that it has most people in comparison to other provinces. And
And
then if you think about it, if you think about Gauteng, how the response has been, and the cases of police brutality that have been reported, because you can't control or not even necessarily control. I think it's a wrong term to use to say control. You can't kind of monitor everybody's movement in a situation where majority of people are struggling to make means end.
Okay.
So
So
now you are given measures to say you have to stay at home, and you're not even quite sure where your next meal is going to come from. So I think
yeah,
as a province, we doing well, but at the same time, there have been cases where people sometimes they really have to be out, not because they're ignorant or they want to be social delinquents, but because they have to be to make the ends meet.
yeah.
So as a province, we could do better, but I think with the rollout of projects like funding for the unemployed, like a payment for unemployed people, and the increase of social and child support grants. I think that could help to ease the burden of poverty in a lot of
Okay.
households.
So are you currently like working entirely from home?
Yeah, entirely from home. I've only left a house twice to go to
Okay.
Pick and Pay to just to get some few stuff that I need that we ran out of in the house. But other than that, I've been in the house writing. I think because of the type of work that I do, I'm literally glued in front of my computer from the morning till the
Yeah.
evening. So
Yeah. I can relate.
yeah, so I'm sure you understand this. Yeah.
So, what is then your favorite part about working remotely from home?
The favorite part is can I not say the favorite part is I think the favorite part is that we have to be very disciplined and you have to self motivate. And then for me, what it has helped me ever since, because it can be like a struggle to just be focused the entire day, and because the fridge is calling your name now and then. It's like, hey, come check me. Don't you want an apple? Don't you want don't you want chocolate? So to silence that fridge calling you all now and then, you have to have like a so I joined this. We have like a Zoom writing group with other ladies who are also working on research in different universities around Gauteng. So what we do, we have like a morning session where we kind of report what are your goals for that day are, and then we have like a check-in session at 1 p.m. and another one at 6 p.m. So that kind of
Okay.
helps us to stay focused. So that's been part of like maybe one of the favorite things about this working from home entirely, because
So
then
there,
you get to meet, you feel like you're accountable to other people, though they're working on their own individual project, but because you have to report to them on your progress on that day, so you feel like you are like it's a solidarity thing, like you are united in just fighting and working against the battle of having to stay focused and making progress on whatever you are working on that day.
so what is
So that
the highlight then of your day?
how my day starts like. So
No,
in the
the
morning, I
highlight, like
like
the best part about like in the entire day.
probably probably the highlight will be like working out because we have a Zoom a Zoom. I think it's just like the working out because I'm a runner. Like prior for years I've been like my morning start with a jog and I do it outdoors. So this has been very challenging for me that to have to be confined indoors and having to work out from home. But the highlight of my day is just waking up every morning and then start my day with a workout, which is like an hour. So that's
Okay.
like a top of my list. And then have to sit on my desk and start writing.
So is that also your way to like recharge every day for
Yeah,
like
definitely. I would say definitely that
okay,
the workout is the way. Also, because we do like different exercises. Like sometimes, like on Mondays, sometimes it's yoga, and then we do Pilates, and then we do like HIIT exercises, and then we do full body workout. So those are just like one of the things that's just mentally, it frees you from all these noise that is going on with the coronavirus. I mean, you open any news or you just go on Twitter, everything is about coronavirus. So you never really you had to get a break to just think beyond COVID-19, because of course we have to think about it because of all the implications that came with the virus itself for our
yeah.
economy, for social stability, for a lot of different things. So yeah, working out has been one of those ways just to escape everything because I don't have to have my phone or read the news. When I'm working out, I'm just working out and sweating.
So
And that's it was like an achievement at the end at the end of the workout.
okay. So what is your setup like then for work? You just work behind the desk or just in the kitchen all day, looking at the fridge?
No, the fridge is in the other. Luckily, so what's my setup like? So, what I did, because like my desk, was in the lounge before everybody that I live with, my sister and my my other cousin, before, because they work full time, so they are away all day long. They leave the house very early, come back in the evening. So my desk was in the other room. But now since they're here, they want to watch TV. So my typical day starts with me waking up and going to the lounge and wake out, go for a shower, come back to my desk that I have now moved to my bedroom, and then start working. And then maybe from time to time, I'll go to the kitchen, get some water or make tea, check the fridge, what it wanted to say to me. And yeah, just typically that's how my day is like.
Okay. So
And then maybe I'll take a break to watch news on TV, but I'm not a TV person, so.
okay. So how would you advise other people that have to study or work from home? What would you give them as advice to be like mentally ready for it?
Yeah, I think your mental well-being should be a priority throughout all this period, because if your mind is clustered, you can't really focus, can you? So I think the number one priority for you is to get your clear mind, and that start with the beginning, like when you start your day, and to say, okay, what calms me, what rejuvenates my energy, what fits my energy, what fits my momentum. So for me, it's working out. For some people, it could be meditation. For some people, it could be just maybe having a cup of coffee. Maybe that gives you time to reflect, and then you start to plan your day. What do you want to do on that day? And then what are the steps for you to going through that task?
Okay.
And just remember to take the breaks in between, even if you just walk to the bathroom or just a walk to the lounge, or if you live in a tiny space, then just standing up and stretching from your desk.
So how would you advise students to because Nuffic Neso also works a lot with these students. How would you advise them to prepare or work in a time like this?
I would say for me, another thing that has been very helpful and very effective is to have create yourself a support system. For me, it's been people who are doing the same line of work. So if you have other students from your classmates, maybe say, hey guys, even if you could just give each other feedback via WhatsApp, create a WhatsApp group, and then you say, so what are your plans for today? Maybe some have classes to attend, online classes. If you don't have classes to attend, maybe you say, what are your study tips? How can I do to make my day feel more productive? So you just get your peers, talk to your peers, reach out to your peers. I think that's the best way to start.
Okay.
And also have other activities beyond your books and your studies, because then it could be very frustrating and daunting to just focus on one thing.
Well, no, thank you so much for the answering of all these questions. That is really, I think this will be really helpful for the students that we are in contact with in South Africa and Dutch alike. Yeah, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me as part of your podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and I wish everybody all the best with their writing and working from home. It could be challenging, but we'll get through this.
I agree. Well, thank you so much.